Okay, here we are, round 7 of whatever calling I'm at. And I'm just going to flip over my Vincent. I'm 1 in 5, 6 at this point, and I have a draw somewhere in there. Reactions?
Well, I'm going to be super competitive and very cranky anyway. And I'm going to play Tiger Eye. Oh, right. That doesn't work in the reaction step. Aw.
What did you do?
I wanted to play a block card, but that's not allowed.
I'm just going to take the damage. I don't understand how Vincent works.
Perfect, because the game
Odds
hasn't
are I
even
won't
started.
get punished. Odds are I won't get punished for taking this damage, right?
There's no way he's got a pummel.
This is why we're at the bottom tables here at this whatever calling. Welcome to the reaction step. This is it. This is our show. We're going to talk about... Oh, you go ahead. I'll segue it over to Isaac. Isaac's going to tell you what the fuck's going on tonight.
Well, you seemed unsure. We're going to play a game tonight. This is our new game show, and it's called Living Lurkers.
Living
Why don't you tell them about what
Lurkers.
this game is?
Perfect. Okay, so instead of the other LL format, this is the new LL format where it's anyone on the Living Legend board who's sub 100 Living Legend points. So the lurkers of the leaderboard.
Lurkers
the bottom
rise
tier
up.
heroes. Yeah, rise up. And so we're going to fucking make a tier list with these bad boys and bad gals and bad peoples. And
Hell
we're
yeah.
going to see what that's going to be like. And we're going to start pushing this as the new format that
We're
you
gonna
should be
put
playing.
all the debate to bed. So everyone shut up because
Yeah.
we're talking. This is the new tier list. If you're playing any other deck than one of these lurkers, like, are you even alive? No is the answer.
Of course I'm alive, Sleepy Joe, you fuck. Levia's clearly S tier.
Fucking A. Let's get into it. So it's a tier list. There's no F tier, but D is as bad as it gets, which is weird that it's green, but that's just how tier lists work.
It's because S is fire.
Oh, shit's
guess.
fire. And green is
I don't know why.
basic. It's like a primary color. Get fucked. Oh, so is red though. Never mind.
Little bitch color.
Yeah, it has this nice gradient into green,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
I guess
slow.
makes sense. Okay, where do y'all want to start? Does anybody have any strong opinions right away? Should we just go left to right there or right to left?
Do we what these are all sub 100 living legend point heroes.
Mm-hmm.
What order are they in? Like how many points? I know that like Dashio and Maxio and Teclovociono are all got 0 points. They just come out and nothing's ever happened yet. But you know, does anybody else have living legend points?
Let me take a quick look
They
here
do.
because we're
I
super
close
prepared.
that window. Damn it.
We're super prepared. I got it right here. 4 seconds.
I just sprung it.
So
Taylor
at
beat me.
let's see here. So
You win the first round, Taylor.
I'm in blitz. That's too far. Azuri is at the top with
Nice.
64.
Ooh.
Then Leviah Shadowborn Abomination. Clearly the S tier. 20 points. Arachne Huntsman, 10 points.
Ooh.
Riptide Lurker of the Deep,
Riptide.
2 points. And then Prism Awakening of Soul, null. Vincent Iron Maiden, null. Dash IO, new. Max the Hype Nitro, new. And Teklovossen Esteemed Magnate, new.
Is that
So,
really his name? Esteemed
Yeah.
Magnate?
Yeah.
That's got to change soon, though,
It's
with
stupid.
ProQuest season coming up. I mean, some of these heroes are bound to win a ProQuest,
That's true.
I feel like.
So we're getting in now
When you have those-
before anyone gets too hot in the meta. You know, that's wide open right now. Anybody can win.
Yep.
Azalea can win.
Also,
she would have been here.
Azalea would have been in this list, but just crushed it and made her way out of the submarine onto the ship.
Some kind of
Shout
magic
out to my
hand
wife.
appeared and just gave
Yeah.
Taylor a beer. Or a
Shout out to my wife, the best.
Nice.
right.
Yeah, Azalea would have been here, but too good now.
All right,
She's
so
at
now-
136.
Yeah, she went from 36, which was deep in here, which I guess
Yeah.
would have been the top
To 136
or the second or
for
something.
winning one game. It's crazy.
Yeah, one single game is all she won. All right, so question now. Do we go bottom up or top down?
Go bottom up, baby.
Let's go. All right, the
I
newest.
was with Tech the Boston. These are the spicy ones.
Yeah, Tech Low. Where is our Tech Low daddy sitting on this tier?
So did we already clarify this is just within this meta, right? We're not
Yep.
saying these are S tier outside of, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
If
All right.
this were the meta, what's the tier list then?
I'm going to put Techlo Daddy in B tier
Oh,
Wow.
dude.
because I think he's all right, but with his cycling of armor and heavy blocking ability, I think he has a pretty decent chance of like fatiguing / grinding out players who get caught off guard.
I think he probably sucks, so I'm gonna say C tier.
Yeah, is there anybody that's going to be worse than him? I don't know. It's hard to say. I say I would also vote for C tier. He's pretty slow, and like compared to like Arachne smokes Teklovasan. So then probably so does Azuri, and I'm unsure if the split damage from Vincent stuff is also going to be able to handle. He's going to be able to handle it. So that's like 3 heroes right there that he just has a bad matchup against. It feels like.
All right, C tier.
So I don't know. We might move it around as we move them up and down.
Yeah.
Obviously, these
I know.
mechanologists are going to be the hardest ones to evaluate.
Yeah,
Just
they're
in CC,
brand
he
new,
can
so.
he can blast out those armors so fast. He has like 3 block armors in no time, in like 2 turns.
Yeah, then they get shredded and they die.
Yep, and then you cannot
Right.
block
I guess
By
This is a
Arachne or
heavy-
Azuri with them in fear of shred.
assassin heavy meta, so that's a good point.
Yeah, two of the 9 heroes who we got here.
Yeah, I don't usually think too heavily about shred when I'm deck building, but
You got to in this
You're
in the
right.
lurkers format, man. It's shred
Yep.
heavy.
Living Lurkers, baby.
All
Let's
right.
go.
Techno
All right,
Daddy. He's
Max.
got room to grow,
Tell-
but we'll see.
tell us about Teklo Sun here, Taylor.
I like it that I'm the expert somehow. Also, are we going to say, we should clarify also, that closest to the letter C is the top of the tier?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So we'll rank them in tier level as well as by tier
Okay,
level.
perfect. Yeah, add some nuance
Mhm.
to this. I have a hard time figuring out how Max is not super affected against the assassins and Riptide and potentially Prism. You know what I mean? Like he's got a boost, he's got a crank, he basically doesn't have a real weapon, I think the Mechanoid is pretty good. I think Mechanoid also maybe beats the Macropotent as well.
One of those.
So-
To clarify, he can
Uh-huh.
use any weapon. He doesn't have to use Banksy, right? We're talking about CC tier here.
Yeah,
It's
that's true.
He could use the Techlo leveler.
Yeah, or the
Or a pistol,
pistols, or whatever you want. I'm
A
just
Navi
saying.
blaster.
or a blaster,
Yeah.
Not
or a
that he
barrel
would.
shot.
Nice.
Yeah,
Is he a Mechanoid deck?
yeah.
You
It
think
like
so?
happens pretty fast.
That's
yeah.
cool. Oh, I guess because
It
you need all
happens-
the hyperdrivers. Oh, but
Yeah.
do they go to your... Never mind. We don't need to discuss it. So what do you think he is then? B tier? Is he C tier with his bastard father?
That's I like it that's our new headcanon here. I would, for me, looking at this, I might put him at the top of C, bottom of B. That's where I would that's where he feels like he's going to go.
Yeah, I feel like Riptide might rip his tide up. You know what I'm saying? Like, but he is aggressive. There's not a lot of like aggression, full on aggression in this Living Lurkers format. So, he could, just based on that, he could be pretty good in being able to present damage faster than some of these other heroes. So I don't know. I could
wanna
say
put him
even
in
maybe
D
A
tier.
tier. You want to say D tier?
Yeah.
Wow.
His hero power is not enough going on for CC, and I don't know. Prove me wrong, Max. Till then, you're just fucking D tier.
His hero power is turn 2 resources into 1 resource later. All right. So I was feeling B. Taylor said C.
When do you put it like that?
And then
No,
Isaac
his
says-
hero power is turn 2 resources into 1 resource later and 3 damage. Well, I guess not. That's 3 resources. 3 resources.
Well, if you
Or-
crank it, it's damage if you use his weapon. But if
Yeah,
you don't
so it's like-
crank it, then no.
For 3 resources, you get a resource back, 3 damage, and potentially 2
Another
an extra
resource.
resource backs. So
all right, fine.
Or-
I was being glib, but that's fine. I feel like if we average out B, C, and D, we're at C tier. So maybe he's like top of C, and we can discuss it later.
okay, cool,
All
cool,
right.
cool. Yeah, I think we'll place them, relook at it,
Yeah.
and
It's
fiddle
not
fuck
done
around.
yet. This is in progress.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah,
working
it's in
through it.
progress.
All right, Dashio. I got strong feelings. I feel like she's fucking like A tier at least. Maybe even
I
S
think
tier.
so.
She just
I think
pops
so.
shit off the top. Like
Yeah.
you get to look at the
And
top card. It's
the-
crazy.
It's really good, and I think in normal outside of the lurker submarine that she has the best potential out of the mechanologist. I know that's what a lot of people are saying, but then when you play against her and she gets a high octane turn off, and all of a sudden there's a fucking boom grenade out there and you got to block all these attacks and there's 6 action points and then the pistol comes in for 12 damage after all of that bullshit happens. You're like, wow, that's crazy. I guess you only have 15 cards left in your deck now, but I took a buttload of damage and you did a lot of stuff. So that's crazy. So yeah, I kind of feel A tier, maybe the bottom of A.
Yeah, I was gonna say A or B. I'm not. So yeah, I can go A. It's just kind of like I'm not sure. Like the card advantage is really good, and her shenanigans are really good. I'm not sure if she like quite has it in her outside of the submarine to be, to be excellent, because you got to have all those items in your deck, and they cost an action point to play, and they
Yeah,
don't
but we
block,
live in
and,
the submarine now, so there's no outside.
Oh, totally. So inside the submarine, I think her shenanigans will. I'm gonna say B, but you guys both said A, so we can leave her at A.
Nice.
That's
yeah.
my vote.
And the SS Lurker, fucking Dashio, she's A tier, baby.
I like it. That's Dashio. Love that.
Shout out to Connor, local player. Started calling her Dashio, and I love it. Now we all call her Dashio.
Love you, Connor. Great job. Is that the brute player guy?
No. No. He plays a lot of decks. He judges too.
Okay. Nice.
One of our local judges. Important to the community. Next up,
Namaste.
Vincent.
Ooh,
What's
this
her
is so
epithet?
hard. Iron Maiden.
Iron Maiden.
Isaac, you start us off on this one.
You love Rune Blades.
Ooh, this is so hard, you guys. I'm gonna put Vincent at B tier.
Mm.
Solid B tier here, right? Because she has some serious limitations. Like always has to banish a card. You can draw these really dud hands where you can't really do shit, right? But then sometimes I've played against Vincent and been like, this deck is broken. This is stupid, because they'll just do like back to back to back, like 27 damage turns. So, with that potential power, even if it might not be super consistent, I think this deck has some strength.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like she runs Pummel. Pummel's good, and she has a bunch of cards that say "fuck your arsenal," and a lot of these lurkers like their arsenal. So
That's true.
Totally. It's like you take 1 damage and then you get hard punished for it, and you're like, well, I couldn't block 7 rune chance and 13 damage, so how was I not supposed to take a damage and get hard punished?
Yeah, but I'm not sure. I haven't played against her enough or with her enough to know if that's like high rolly potential, or is that like that's just what she does. It's Runeblade, so hands can be clunky. So I don't know how much she suffers from that issue. So I could see a bottom A, high B, depending on I don't know these other heroes.
Yeah.
But it's like who runs Arcane Barrier really well? Like the mechs kind of do, but I guess mechs do.
Not
they lose a lot.
Yeah,
of
not
cool
Teklovossen, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure Max has the resource curve for that. And Dash is going to have a lot of no blocks. So my guess is that, or how I see it is that a lot of those hit effects, like if dealt damage, all of the annihilates are turned on by all of the heroes, or all of the widespreads, excuse me, are turned on by all of the heroes we have up there already. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Either you can't, your game plan's fucked because you're Teklovossen and you're like, well, I brought a robot to our magic battle. This sucks. And then Max is like, hey, I'm daddy's bastard. I don't have enough bitcoins to pay for your magics.
I've just got
And
this
then-
wrench.
Yeah, I got this wrench from daddy.
Call it bonksy.
I call it bonksy. I cranky and then I bonksy. Ooh, and then I play with my mechanoidsy. Woe is me against your magics.
I mean,
okay,
so he beats.
That's what he's saying.
She beats C tier heroes, but does she beat the A tiers S tiers that might be coming later?
I'm thinking that she's A tier with Dash, because if Dash is going to have no blocks and have like kind of this specific combo, and I just feel like Vincent's like always going to get damaged through. I don't know. It could be a really aggro, fast-paced matchup. Who knows though? Because it's like Husk does dickhole against Symbiosis Shot, block 6, but it doesn't block 3 instances of 2,
Yeah, but
Well, ideally you wouldn't use it then.
Yeah, you would use a different
you'd use
piece
it
of
whenever
equipment. But one of her best assets is her Husk.
Yeah, but she's
know?
got grasp too, and probably crown. So she blocks. She blocks.
She does. I guess she can use Carapace also.
All right,
So,
she blocks. She
ahead.
has a range of pretty good weapons. So like some of these heroes' weapons are a little. So maybe she's bottom A. I don't know.
I could be into that.
It's like almost the only one that has arcane. Like Prism kind of does arcane, but not like enough that you would likely run arcane barrier.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Is
Yeah,
she's
it's
the
not
only
enough.
one with that ability of mixed damage.
She literally is the only one that's like now everyone has to tech for arcane damage.
Yeah, totally.
This format is totally different once Vincent makes it to like mid regular outside the bubble. All right, let's say bottom A for now. We'll revisit if we need to.
We'll revisit.
All right, Prism.
Colin, start us off with Prism, baby.
Ooh. I'm trying to think. Okay, this is hard because like I think she could be good, man. I think she might be S tier. She's got angels. She's got heralds. There's like a couple decks that have like 6 powers. I guess 3 of the decks, so like a third of this meta might be able to do some popping damage, but like, Prism's about board state. So if you're wasting your good cards to like popper heralds and shit, like, I don't know. She can do some stuff. I'm gonna say S tier based on absolutely nothing other than Prism is dope and she's got ward and a bunch of tricks up her sleeve.
Love it.
Wow.
I'm gonna say A tier.
Okay.
I think she's good.
She's
Lower
definitely
health,
good.
though. You can get run over though before you get, like some clunky hands or like a bit of misfortune, and you're like dead pretty fast. So
32 health.
living on the edge there, but I
Yeah.
think she's she's good.
I'm gonna say D tier.
Wow.
Whoa.
So Vincent, innate 6s. Teklovasin, innate 6s. Levia, all 6s. Arachne, running 6s.
Some,
Azuri, running 6s.
yeah.
That's like five heroes out of 9.
Yeah, but she's playing a board state game though. If you have a lot of 6s, you're not like shit. You pop my herald again. This is impossible.
Yeah. Like she's playing out, her heralds and then also auras that you have to spend your turn destroying. And then angels who just soak up damage. Like most of these heroes don't go super wide.
You get bonked with Iris of Reality.
But
How do you like
Max,
that?
Max
Or-
goes very
like
wide, and
that?
so does Dash. And Dash does it with like action points,
That's true. I would say, I mean, if we're going to average it out, then it's like around B tier, which
Okay, she can be our B tier hero for right now.
I think that makes sense.
S tier seems insane though.
I don't know. Colin said S. I said A. I'm sticking with it.
And I said D. I'm sticking with it. B. Top of B.
I think B could be right. I think it's hard
I mean,
to say.
how does that average out to? Well, all right.
Listen
It-
here.
It averages out to like
You-
A minus,
just
but we don't have
You're
a
weighing
B.
Taylor's vote more. This is my point.
Well, letters don't divide the same way as numbers do.
Yeah, yours is a factor of 1 letter, and mine is a factor of 3 letters from yours.
All right, we'll slap her in B, I guess, but I'm telling you, she's good.
I think she's also good. I don't. We could just say she's A. She's A. Taylor could suck it.
Listen here, Sleepy Joe, you fuck.
Yeah, I think you're full of shit. You're just
I
jealous
don't-
that she's so cool.
Does everybody know what you guys are referencing?
Yeah, everybody on the internet except for you.
Okay.
We had to
All
tell
right,
last
well
time.
then keep at it, I guess.
I will. Wish I could do a better Obama impression. Hello,
All right, Riptide.
Michelle and the
I'm gonna
kids
give-
need me.
I gotta,
I'm gonna put
hurry this up.
Riptide in.
Before we get canceled.
Did you say S? I thought I heard you say
Yeah,
S.
no, Riptide C tier for me.
Ooh.
Dude, Riptide gamers revolt.
No weapon. Aggro deck with no weapon. It's tough.
Wow, you used to be a ranger. Wow.
Whoa.
I think Riptide and Prism are the 2 hardest for me to evaluate, in this like context or whatever. Like Riptide's better than I think we think he is.
Riptide's good, man.
Jesse's
You
gonna
know what I
kill
mean?
me.
Yeah, Jesse, Anthony, all of us disagree. Riptide is pretty good.
Yeah.
I think especially in the submarine, the SS Lurkers He's pretty strong. Stacking 12 damage with 3 different hit effects and then
Yeah,
getting an
pretty
arsenal
easy.
card. It's pretty good. I don't know.
He's pretty good against any boost decks for sure. I'll give you that. But I was putting those lower
I think
anyway.
he's just like he's disruptive for sure. Like he gives you blood rots, sedation, whatever that inertia, gives you frailty, all of that stuff.
Yeah, but you're not trying to out aggro him, right? Like if you just don't play his game plan, it gets a lot worse.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could just trade cards with him. Just like he shows you 10, you give him all 4 of your cards and see if he can kill you. I guess, but like Dash isn't going to be able to do that because she's going to have items in her hand just innately. And yeah, I don't know.
Vincent's got the equipment to block.
Yeah.
Prism. I think Prism is probably a hard matchup for Riptide.
It feels like it. Yeah.
Because he's probably slinging 1 damage or 1 big arrow. Sometimes 2. I think it depends on how many Bolton shots you have, or if you're running Promise of Plenty. Shout out to Anthony Fan.
Just with Dreadbore, by loading or having a Bolton shot in Arsenal, or loading, you get the +1, right?
You load it, yeah.
Yeah. It just gets go again. So you can just it reminds me of just getting some free damage in, like holding cards, load that. Then he's got other stuff coming at you. I don't know. He has good cards.
I think so. I think he's got good cards. I think he will struggle against Vincent. I don't think he can block Arcane very well. So if you got 8 rune chance
versus a fridge.
And I think Vincent has good resources. And I think Dash does too. Well, but that doesn't matter as much. Maybe it does. But I don't know. I feel like B feels good. I think he's better than these Teklo buddies down here.
Teklo family down there.
I think he has a potential of high rolling, but he might struggle against these A tier heroes who might need to push some of these up, man. I don't know. Someone's got to be S tier in this format.
Well, we tried. We got downvoted. So
yeah. Put her back up there. Let's go.
Just because you're controlling this mouse here. I'm starting to feel like maybe Vincent moves to the front of A, and that Dash maybe moves to be with Riptide. That's how I'm feeling.
I could get behind that.
Ooh, okay. I like it. Spicy.
Oh.
Is Riptide ahead of Dash or behind Dash?
Dude.
I think for now, ahead probably.
Nice. I like
but
it.
But as this meta evolves, after we see a few lurker callings,
Brian Gottlieb, cover your ears. Bright lights, crap heroes.
No way.
Dash
Cool.
Just kidding.
Cool
we
heroes.
were talking about Riptide, and Dash just got shafted out of the blue.
Totally joking. Love all these new heroes.
All right. Where's Arachne going?
Dude.
S tier, baby.
Oh yeah. All right. Tell us why.
Okay. He's got a hump, and he's fucking dope. He's got dope robe on, dope mask, has a hump under there, which I still think is an arsenal of weapons, not a physical deformity. And he's fucking sick. That's all there is to it.
I think it's the head of his best friend that he accidentally murdered and already dead and kept and attached it to his body.
Yeah.
Isn't it just a hump in solitary confinement's painting?
You don't know that.
I mean, I can't say the election wasn't rigged.
That hero's not in this format, so irrelevant.
Yeah. Objection. Okay. S tier.
Beats Prism. He beats Prism.
Gosh, I don't know if he beats Prism. He might. He just has like he's better. He's so much better than everybody gives him credit for. His like actual ability, where you get a peek at the top card, is so good if you understand what the other decks are doing. So, like, I think he beats Vincent because he wants to block her BS, has blues, and then is like, I'm just gonna banish your cards and you're gonna have less of them, and you're
Give
gonna
you
take more blood debt because it's harder for you to play out multiple rune gate cards in a turn. And I'm just gonna bottom your non-attack actions, so you just have hands of attack actions, and that's just like pretty disruptive. And every dagger's on because it's like Vincent does not want to block. You know, once you get through her armor, and then has to block with attack actions, her turn is like way powered down. Fatigue's
That's
Riptide.
interesting. Wait, hold on. Question about that.
Yeah.
But you don't get to mill Vincent as well because Vincent gets to use a lot of those cards you banish. That's not a huge factor.
At a certain point, it's hard to play 2 rune gate cards in a turn. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you just play another one the next turn. Is what.
Yeah, but you always
still
have to
get to
banish
use
a
some of
card
those
from your
cards.
hand. You always have to
Yeah.
banish. So as
That's
soon as
fair.
she blocks or surgical extraction comes up or whatever, you play already dead and you're like, do you want to block with your armor now? Because it's all going to be gone. You know? Those are just
eradicate. Just put like
Yeah.
5 cards in your
blam,
blood
blam,
debt.
blam, blam, blam.
My
Yeah.
favorite assassin card.
Yeah.
I could see that. I could see it being really good. I do question the Prism matchup. Like,
I do too. He definitely dunks on Tekla Vossen and the mechanologists.
we saw that happen. Oh my
Yeah.
god.
He dunks on mechanologists because they all have to boost, and he's just like, sure, yes, I will block this damage. You lose 2 cards, and then I'll attack you, and you'll lose 2 cards or take damage. Like, I don't care. You're just gonna like die. You know what I
Shredded
mean?
temper
Just
equipment. Ugh.
They're just playing your game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like,
Oh,
oh, I love it.
milling
Boost
more
3
cards?
attacks this turn.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, I'm bored. You know? Yeah.
All right. What does that mean though? Does that mean Prism's better than we're saying? If
I don't know. Maybe.
she rallies against what we're saying is the top deck, like,
We'll come back to it.
all right,
Come back to it.
all right, Leviathan.
I kind of hold on. I kind of agree with you, Taylor. I'm gonna say Arachne's in A tier, but
But the top.
I don't even know about that. Maybe behind those two, but I agree.
He
In this
definitely-
meta specifically, he kind of shreds because of like all the points you said, and there's like 3 mechanologists in here and stuff. It's like he's pretty punishing, I think, in this particular meta. Smacks Riptide, just like has a good Swiss here, good Swiss setup.
And I think something we forgot to mention with Riptide and the Assassins is like they have access to Codex. So like Vincent gets absolutely housed when you Codex her because she then has a free arsenal, goes down to 3 cards, and then you present a relevant on hit and then has to block with maybe 2 of those cards or all 3 of them, and then takes a turn off and takes a couple of points of blood debt. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So he can really do some damage to her. Same thing with Riptide.
Yeah, I feel like Arachne, a lot of these decks like need a certain amount of cards to work together to do what they want to do. Like a lot of them need both non-attack actions and attack actions, or items and attacks, or auras and attacks to do their game plan. So if you're always bottoming like the shit they want to do so that they're not seeing it, and then at the end of the game all they have is a bunch of crap that they can't really use together the way they need to, that could be pretty skewing. So I'm kind of swayed. I feel like I'm okay saying S tier because I love Arachne and fucking he's got a cool hump. So
Arsenal. It's an arsenal.
that's my
On to
that's my
Leviathan.
arsenal. That's not a hump. It's gonna be like
I'm going.
Sorry,
What were you gonna say?
I was saying it's gonna be like Young Frankenstein, where like Igor is just like, "What
Yeah.
hump?
What hump? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you have a hump? What? I have a hump.
Fucking. You know I can help you with that. With what? Dude, shout out to Young Frankenstein, one of the most perfect films ever.
It's a good one. All right,
So-
Levia,
All right.
Brute
I'm
Man.
gonna put Levia in S tier. I think this
Baby,
is the
let's
strongest
go.
deck in the list.
Top of S tier, he says.
I'm kind of biased because I really like playing Levia, but I mean this deck's just like a house. It is susceptible to like frostbites, and some degree of disruption, which makes it kind of suffer.
We don't have any frostbites.
It can be. I know. I'm just saying why it's not like a house in the general meta. And it can be punished playing against aggro decks, because later on you need to hold a certain amount of cards. So if high rolls you at the end, you're kind of screwed. But I think in this meta, the power of this deck is just like very, very relevant.
Yeah, Blood Rush. I mean, it out of everybody, it has the most. It feels like it has one of the most consistent combo pop off potentials. Blood Rush Bellows
Yeah.
is just an insane card. Claws are good. You go wide with Dread Screamer, and some of the latest Swing Big. Some
Well,
of the
and-
best brute cards and shit.
Like in Levia has those like Graveling Growl or like Shadow or Slithering Shadowpede or
Yeah.
that are kind of other combos which you can really go to town with.
Yeah, I can see that. I feel like I haven't played Arachne versus Levia, but I feel like that could be an interesting one too because he's fucking with her deck. That can be a little fragile sometimes, but it's pretty stacked these days, I feel like.
Let's see. I've played that matchup quite a few times. I just haven't played it recently. If I remember correctly, I think it's a little close. It's hard to hit silver on Levia, and she's totally willing. She has a payoff for blocking you, is that she fills up her graveyard, So that makes it a little tough. Like you annihilate the arms, and she has quite a few. She is one of a mono type card deck, right? And that's Arachne does really well against those things. But she also has like a bunch of different pitch values, and she has a fridge, and so those can be tough. The only thing she doesn't have that Arachne then also hates is a really good weapon that's repeatable. Like Bravo sucks for Arachne because just Anothos does 6 damage like fucking all the time, and he has a ton of armor. And so you're like, God, this 0 for 4 is so good, but you just keep blocking it and then send 6 damage at me. Like, this sucks.
I hear you.
know?
I also hated Nothos. It's like this doesn't seem fair.
Yeah.
Does
My dagger
Medax
costs-
Levia do better against Arachne?
Maybe. I mean, Medax is pretty good, but then you're just like milling a card off the top of your deck.
Yeah,
So you're like,
you're milling
pretty-
yourself.
Yeah, you're stoked on that. So I think it's pretty close.
Yeah, hard
In-
to say. Hard to say.
I think Levia definitely beats Arachne. I think that deck is significantly better.
He's
We're
got.
going to have to
but-
play.
She's got power. Yeah, we can solve this in the streets, kids.
I think also looking at this, Tekla in D tier. We just got to move him down there. He sucks.
That's what I said.
I know.
Yeah.
We all agree with you now.
Oh no, I
Yeah.
said max D tier. Yeah, I said
Yeah,
max D
there's
tier.
room. There's still time.
Max is better
I think
than Tekla.
I want Tekla to be good, and I think someone will figure out a good game plan. But it just feels it might, it's probably one of those things where like what you want to do with him is actually kind of anti what his what his like hero ability tells you should do, and then it's just like something else. So and you just like do that instead, and it's pretty good. But if your hero ability is turned off, then like what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, but he's like not bad, right? Like he almost instantly builds a fridge that's like replaceable. So that's really annoying, right? He like always has a fridge to block you, and then he plays cards like the 0 for 6, and stuff like that are just like, I don't know, pretty good value.
I
What's
take
a
That's
0
kind of
for
all
6?
he's doing, but it starts out costing 4, but when you have 4 Evos, it costs 0.
Oh, liquid mayhem, liquid cooled mayhem.
Yeah,
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 that's a pretty
gotcha.
good one.
but he like always has 4 Evos. So
I take issue with that statement because I've played this deck upwards of one time and it was very hard to get my evos out. So it's you don't always have them. So I'm just saying.
Yeah, I've also played it way more than one time. And if you're going
like
with
twice as many times.
maybe like 20 as many times,
Holy shit!
Uh,
All right.
and if you're going steel memory, steel soul, uh, against assassins, they're just such a huge liability
Yeah, I don't think
because you
play
just
it.
can't get the value out of them because you're just like, fuck, what if they have shred? And then you're like, okay, well then it makes my Teklo leveler worse and I can't singularity. And what happens if they banish singularity off the top? Like,
I mean, you can
you just get-
That's
only
fair. I get
can only block with them if you have the ability to instant replace it, which is
yeah.
that
Yeah.
is tenuous. Like, I don't know. It doesn't feel like I don't know how many Evos you end up running this deck, but it feels hard. Maybe he gets better with time and practice, but
Yeah, I think currently what
I
we
guess-
understand of him, he's a D tier
he's a
hero.
D.
Yeah, if we're putting assassins in Prism like at the top, then yeah, I guess he is D tier.
Dang. All right.
Because then Prism,
That is like all his
Prism,
worst
I,
matchups.
yeah, I guarantee Prism just freaking smokes him as well because he's so slow. And she's
I
just
think-
like, cool.
I think he
have
can high
a
roll.
board.
I saw some guys last night playing Teklovasin versus New Prism, and Teklovasin was high rolling. I don't know if that's normally the case, but he was the macro potent, and it looked bad for Prism. So, I think he's got potential, but it might be kind of swingy and a little random right now.
Yeah. I mean,
fuck it. This is
if
our
you
tier
can
list.
time Singularity at the right time,
The one
This shit's
card
broken.
in your deck.
yeah, totally. You're like, oh, right. This makes sense when you get this mega combo off. It's like so punishing that all of a sudden they have 6 resources and 2 action points, and all of their cards have go again, and all of their cards also now are, or like all the Evo upgrades are on. Like, shit, this thing comes in for 9 overpower. I discard a card, then the Necropotent attacks me and I discard another card, and then they have 5 intellect on that next turn. Like, it's a huge swing. But if you're at like 36 health when that happens, you're like, I guess I'll be okay.
And then you double shred the Necropotent and it dies.
The Necropotent doesn't have temper,
Oh, it
but
doesn't?
you can already dead it and banish
Oh,
it
and
and
ban-
kill him.
That's spicy. I love that. All right, here we go. Last one with a bullet. It's Uzuri.
Azuri, top of A tier.
Top of 8.
Oh, I'm gonna put her better than Arachne here.
Definitely not.
I don't. So, the only thing Arachne has going better than Uzuri is his hero power. So you're saying that Arachne's hero power is better than everything Uzuri has going for her, like her hero power and her specialization.
If Arachne puts all of your 6s on the bottom of your deck, you're gonna have a bad time.
Or
I mean,
all of
like
your
40
stealth
out of
cards
60
too.
of your cards are 6s. You don't give a shit. You're just gonna draw more.
40, definitely not. More like 12,
Yeah, I think it's like 12 to 20 range.
What?
Well, you run
I thought you were talking
Shakedown
about Leviah.
already. Oh,
Oh.
no. Yeah,
No,
Leviah
Azuri.
definitely has 40. We're
Yeah.
talking
Wait,
about Azuri.
why would Uzuri care if Arachne bottoms or 6s?
Because then what do you swap into?
You want to swap in your 6 power cards.
Oh, I see. I get what you mean. So, but You draw 4 cards. Arachne only sees 1 card, right? You're still going to draw most of your 6s. It's not like
I'm
he
just
just
saying,
filters them all away.
again, very experienced me. I've played this matchup at least one time, and Arachne was very annoying. Like, all my good cards were gone. And it was just like, then I got to the end of my deck, and it was like bad. So,
All right.
She just is her play pattern is quite a bit more predictable. You know, it's like they show you, I like how you're sneaking Prism in up there.
She's so
She shows you isolate, right? And you already have a bunch of defense reactions and Oasis and stuff and Unmovable and Arachne, and you go, cool, I block with 1 card. And then they activate Azuri, and then you play a defense reaction from Arsenal, and you go, great, your shakedown did nothing.
Okay,
You know?
so all you're talking about is the Arachne versus Uzuri matchup.
Uh-huh.
I was asking who's better in the meta. So we're talking about all of the matchups, right? And I
Totally.
still stand by, if you're going for a more like punishing defensive mill strategy, Uzuri can run all of Arachne's cards. All you're arguing is that Arachne's hero power is like that much better, that he's just better.
I mean, is it
that make
disruptive
sense?
enough to make her win condition harder to achieve? I mean, I think that's
I think
not
Uzuri's
so
just
much.
straight up better. You can run like, you know, the Agrus or Uzuri list. You can run like Mill Uzuri, and against certain decks, her hero power is like pretty punching. Like any decks that want to play a little bit more aggressively.
How does she do against Levia, Vincent, and Prism?
I mean, better than Arachne. Just kidding.
Get his ass, Isaac. Get his ass.
You have to play around. I mean, her play pattern is so much different than, so like part of the thing is that she wants to swap, right? So she needs to like a huge portion of her deck are like stealth cards, right? Somewhere between like maybe 9 to 15, depending on how you play it. You know what I mean? Because she wants to swap. And Arachne doesn't have those 0 for 3s that don't do anything. He replaces those with like cards that if you don't block them, will take another card from you. Right?
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, your Arachne list, you could just run with Uzuri, and then you get to swap also.
No,
You know?
it's not the same because you still have to have 12 or like 9 to 15 stealth cards. So you can't run the exact same list. You can run a similar list with like similar cards, but if you
Stealth
want to use
instead
her
of
hero
contract.
ability, yeah, you have to use stealth cards, or else
Yeah. All right.
Shakedown doesn't like do anything. You know what I mean?
All right. Well, I can't win with Azuri, so we'll put her at D and just call it a day. No. just kidding.
I do think she performs really well. Well, maybe not. You do have to, in against Levia, play around Scowling Fleshbag. You know? So you have to like maybe take damage until they use Scowling Fleshbag or tone yourself down, because you can't go 2-card swap because Scowling Fleshbag comes out and banishes the card you want to swap before the reaction step, and nothing happens.
No.
And they
Only
have
one
Husk.
time, but yeah.
Yeah, totally. But you have to play around it until that happens.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Or just like
So
play
you-
into it. Be like, do it. Just fucking do it. And then it's gone.
Yeah.
Play your game.
Yeah, totally. Or and they have Husk and they have Scabs, you know. So they have all this armor where you can't like take some of their cards, and it's a little bit more challenging.
Yeah.
But then you still have Codex and you have fucking whatever that is, Plague Doctor. What's that card called?
Death touch.
Death Touch. Why can't I remember any cards, you know? So you do have like a lot of cards that
true.
are like unfortunate for Levia, or that
Levi
keep
is
up pressure.
happy to block early also.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to hit me? Yeah, I'll block for 6. That's great.
Yeah. I don't care if you're
Yeah.
like bluffing, you know.
Yeah, then I'll just like 2 for 9 you.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I don't know. When I play Azuri, it feels like I'm just doing the same thing every turn. It's like, okay, I have a stealth
Yeah.
and then another card. Am I gonna swap to a 6 power that's pretty easily blocked? Like, yes, is usually the answer. And then it's like, is it that cool if I bluffed you? I don't know. I do love her flavor. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I like Arachne a little bit more. I feel like he's more
So I
fucking
think
with you in a way that you can't control.
I agree. I think Azuri gets a better reputation because she's better into the above submarine format.
The surface,
Like she's
level.
just better
like-
there, right?
Like Lexi. Yeah.
Yeah, like that's the decks you're more likely to see she does a little bit better against. But in this particular format, I don't think, even though we see her as a player in the meta at large, I don't think she's like as good. I think she's much better than Riptide, but she might even get dunked on by fucking Mech Daddy down there because he can just block with fucking. But I guess you can get shredded anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to
Shredded
shit
himself.
on Azuri. I just don't think because of her success in CC actually transfers into this format that well.
This is a beautiful meta. I wish this was the meta.
Yeah,
Well,
it's great.
isn't
gonna
this
do
crazy?
this. We're gonna do this. We're gonna have a tournament that's submarine only, lurkers only. So if you're interested, hit us
Join
up.
the
let us
Patreon.
know. Join the Patreon.
It
Come to
looks
Hype
it
House.
looks like we got our meta here.
I feel good about this. I mean, we could just make that little change.
I know. Prism
I think-
is contentious for sure. It's
Yeah.
I feel like she's really hard to evaluate also
Yeah.
because of my personal lack of experience with her out in the world and her actual performance. I know what she does.
Mm-hmm.
I know in theory what that game plan is. I'm just unsure because I don't have a deeper understanding of what that deck does, where it fits.
She
Yeah.
can do some like wild finicky tricks too.
Absolutely.
Totally.
You
I think
know.
that's why I think she's like there because she can like trick her way around stuff that might otherwise be kind of a hard matchup for her. But she still can she has 32 health and has a bunch of cards that do not block. So
Totally.
you give it
I
that.
do think Vincent should be ahead of her because Vincent can always be like, my rune champ pops all of your ward.
That's true. Yeah. Oof.
It's so stupid. I can't
Yeah.
believe
Oh
they
yeah,
made the
because
game like that.
the flail right is like
No,
Well,
it's
you
her
can just
hero
lose a
ability.
life.
her hero ability.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can lose a life and break every ward on the.
Yeah.
I don't
Lose
know
the-
why they printed that. It doesn't make any sense.
Damn.
It's
that
like the
means
most
she's like D
unfun.
tier.
It's like the most unfun game state you could write up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I also wonder too, because Riptide has access to Murkmire Grapniller. Murkmire.
I think that's okay. That you can
Merc
just block that.
Gripper.
Yeah, totally. And he can't dominate it, I suppose. He can
Yeah.
make it for like 13 though.
Yeah.
That's true.
I don't
And that's
I don't
not
think
going to hit.
I don't think the angels are like the be all end all though. I think, you've got Iris, you're setting up your Spectra auras, so like that's really still your game state is just like overwhelming with like
Yeah.
different effects combination, and the angels are just cool. I think you only run a couple, honestly, of
It's
the best
yeah.
ones. So
It's just though the flail pops the spectral auras as fast as you can make it. You know what I mean? So it's like you have a free weapon to deal with Spectra, no problem. And printed on your hero is basically just like destroy everything Prism's trying to do for one life.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we'll
It
keep
just
her
looked-
here as a wild
like-
card in the A level
it-
because come on, it's
It,
Prism.
it feels really bad because it's like if you have 2 angels with ward 4 and like 2 spectral shields out and they're just like,
Dude,
okay.
ALS, suck it. Goodbye.
Doesn't my rune
the
chant
spectral
still
shield still goes through.
Yeah, the rune chant
because they
still
target
procs.
the hero. This is what I'm talking about. Anyway,
Just saying.
that's my little rant about that. I don't.
All right.
sometimes
Well,
I don't
here it is,
understand.
everybody. Your Living Lurkers
Living
submarine
Lurkers.
meta tier list. This is the one you've been waiting for. You know, like they're going to be debating this for the months to come, even hotter than Lexi's ban announcement that didn't happen. This will be the thing people are talking about. So we got Levia, S tier, top of the S tier. Arachne, right behind her. Both kind of creepy, cool heroes. I mean, the whole bottom down here is a little bit creepy. It's kind of awesome. A tier, Uzuri, Vincent, and Prism, Awakener of Soul. B tier is Riptide. Shout out to Riptide Jesus and Dashio. Then we got Max, the Hype Nitro, and Teklo Vasen. What is it again? Enigmatic,
Esteemed magnate.
esteemed magnate. Teklo Daddy down at the D tier. Sorry.
Mag-
Sorry,
magnetic
Teklo.
daddy.
Sorry.
D stands for daddy.
Yeah, D stands for daddy. He's got daddy status. It's fine. It's still good.
Daddy tier.
I also want to say, like, I think the close knit, like, there's a real few percentages between, I think, Levia, Arachne, and Azuri. And there's a larger gap between Azuri, Vincent, you know, in the rest of the field. You know,
Mm-hmm.
So
that's
you're saying
that's how
she's
I viewed it
S
in my
tier.
mind. I think she's A tier, but she's the top of A
There's
tier.
like
But
another
also could
empty profile picture between Vincent and her.
yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I think that gap is one more somebody who's not there, you know. But I don't know. We'll have to play this format and see what happens. I would really love anybody. I'm just doing what Colin does over here. I'm just mirroring
Hands
him.
Lurkers rise up.
Lurkers rise up. Let's in the comments below or in the Discord podcast discussion or whatever. Please let us know why we're wrong or hopefully why we're extremely correct. I want to know. You know, I'm willing to
Yeah,
change my opinion.
Yeah.
There were a lot of hot takes here. So, what are your hot takes?
Yeah. Nothing.
What
Only-
matchups did we not consider?
Only hot takes allowed.
Yeah. I don't want any of those cold takes.
Don't give me reasonable.
Get out of here with
shit.
those cold takes.
I don't care about value.
Yeah. Thoughtfulness not welcome.
Save that
This
for
is all
them
satire.
other podcasts. We're out here just fucking lurking and having fun.
I
Dude.
feel like that should be the reaction step motto.
Lurking and having fun.
No, thoughtfulness is unwelcome here.
Check that
That's
shit at
pretty
the
good.
door, bro. All right. Well, that was amazing. Maybe we'll have to revisit this when there's some new heroes and some of these heroes are still down here lurking, but we'll see what happens. Anything can happen, you know, once a couple other heroes are out of that other meta, these heroes got a shot to do something. So we'll see what happens. Who's going to
Absolutely.
graduate?
Quick hypothetical also before we sign off, because when we came up with this idea, Azalea had not won the calling Taipei and was going to be in here. And then it's really fucked up my tier list I had in my head. Is she S tier or A tier? Where would you guys put her?
Above S tier. I think she was by far the best hero.
Wow. Fucking god tier Azalea.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Interesting.
I think she'd be good. I think she'd be S or A tier. She's got
I
a lot of
think-
punishing hit effects. Like,
If we're going to put Levia in S tier, I think she also goes in S tier.
yeah,
But Arachne for sure can fatigue her.
yeah. But that's fine. You know, you need that triangle. Like, you know,
Yeah.
it's like not everyone's
That's
gonna
true.
Be on Arachne. If everyone's on Arachne, then somebody else gets in there. That's how these things work, man. You know. Yeah, it would have been interesting, but she's gone. She's too good now. She's just out there, you know, in the sunlight.
Yeah.
No longer
hanging out with the
lurking.
cool kids.
You know, she used to be a
Yep.
shadow girl, and you know, like physical shadow, not like spiritual shadow. Well, maybe a
Number
little bit.
12 on the leaderboard now.
living the dream. Soon she'll be number 11.
Must be nice. Must be nice up there.
Because
Totally. Kano just squeaks out with 22 extra points out of this format. Thank God.
dude, Kano is god tier in this format. For
Yeah,
I know
totally.
Kano roasts some armor.
yeah.
Oh,
You know,
totally.
Cooks in a mech suit.
this meta is angry if Kano's in it.
Yeah, totally.
Except Prism.
Except Prism.
Oh, Prism stoked.
Yeah.
She's like,
Yeah, her
you
stock
can't
goes
do
up.
anything about any of this shit I'm doing. Good luck. And another
Yeah.
Spectra. And another Spectra. All right. I think that's it for tonight, though. This was awesome. Let us know what you thought. You got another idea for a tier list? Alternate metas? Let's make this
Let's go.
Let's make this world be the change you want to see, people. We can all just make up our own metas.
Love it.
Hell yeah.
Totally love it.
All right. Good night, everyone.
Goodbye.
Bye. You're full of shit, Taylor. Fucking Max is number one.
Come on now, Colin. Michelle and the kids won't appreciate that kind of talk.
Playing Arachne
Let's
makes me
just-
want to kill myself. D tier.
Come on, the Vaya is the best hero we've ever seen. She's beautiful.
Look at those tentacles in her hair.
She has beautiful tentacles.
Can,
The most beautiful tentacles we've ever seen in America.